Good morning. It's Simone, your favorite neighborhood nerd. Do you see the beautiful red pinch tinged uh, mountains back there and the purpley clouds? I just pretend the houses in the front don't exist. Hi there. I already said it's me, your favorite neighborhood nerd. I just wanted to come here and show my face, show you the little whisks that are standing out of my hat. Well, that's life. I have not been able to recover, sounds weird, but I'm still kind of in a weird headspace after coming back home from the Philly pen show. Social media sharing feels wrong. Like, how do I... sorry, I need to pick up the leash. How do I even share all of the beauty things? The stationery stuff. Knowing that so many people here aren't safe. It doesn't make sense to me. And I know I talked about this last week. I am going to continue to talk about this. But yeah, I'm really grappling with that fact. So I have posted on Instagram once, maybe? I don't know. I sold some pens, which is amazing. I have not been able to let go or let go. Know for sure that the pens that I sold now, I would be willing to let go of. And for me, that is something that I noticed. When I'm sure that I can let a pen go, I know that I'm sure. But I wasn't for a while there. Even though many of my pens aren't used that much, I wasn't really like it. I still needed to hang on to them. And when I got home from the Philly pen show, I already knew on the plane about 2 pens that I was going to put up for sale. And then I just went through my pen case one more time and I found 6 pens in total. I sold 5 of them. Shocker, ProGear Slim Lion Friends Sally is still up for sale. I have a post on my community page that you can check out if that is a pen that interests you. But yeah, what I want to do is get rid of the stuff that I put into the box. That is all things from the Philly pen show. I want to talk about it a little more. I did a haul in my other video, and even though I thought it was going to be short, it was still 50 minutes long, just talking about the stuff that I bought. But there was so much more to this show, so many more experiences, and I want to dive in and show some things that I tried. Well, I can't show you the pens actually, but I can show you the writing samples and just stick down things, show you the stuff that worked for me and show you the stuff that didn't work for me. Stick down all the stickers in my journal. So it's gonna be a long video, I'm sure, but I'm excited. So let's hang out. I'm so glad that we're here at the desk. I have no idea how I want to do this, so bear with me. What I want to do is show you what is in here. I also would like to show you what other things I got. I want to put this away somewhere. So maybe all of the stuff that I need to put away. I don't know when my chair started squeaking, but it's freaking annoying, man. Ugh. So stuff that needs to be put away goes in a different pile. Stuff that I need to work in goes here. I haven't, so what I did in leading up to the Philadelphia pen show, I was super nervous. And I left on Thursday, which is here. So I had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was nervous. I wasn't really in the right headspace, and I didn't journal at all. And so what I decided to do is to just use this whole spread for all of the stickers and stuff that I have received at the show and just stick it in here. That's part of what I want to do right now. But also, you know, I want to do other things. I want to show you what is in here. Look at what the Philadelphia Calligraphers Society did for me. These are 2 bookmarks. I really like this one too. Man, there we go. We need to practice our handwriting more. Isn't this like just fantastic? I don't really know what I want to do with those. Maybe I'll cut them out. Not to disrespect the society, but if I cut it out, it's smaller and I can stick it in more into some journals more easily. So maybe I need to put this to the side because I don't think I'm going to put it into my journal right now. Decide about this later. That's a good pile to have, right? I did. These are from 2 different tables. This is from Damien from All in the Nib. And I want to put this somewhere. So this is going to probably go in here. And then this is I believe that Julia here made the sticker. But it says here Stationary Universe. So maybe it's a collab sticker. Probably. And I'm off center here. Now, there is a song that this refers to, which I did not know about, which is one of the things that I'm really struggling with. I like this sticker, even if I don't know the reference, but now that I know that there's a reference, I feel a little weird using it. However, I am just disregarding all of that, and I will be putting it somewhere on my, how about, let's start the back page with this. I'm really wanting to use the things that I purchase and buy, and why not put this on here? Because then next year we can use more. And I think this one I want to put in here to commemorate the Philly Pen Show. And obviously it's already dirty. Do we care? No. No. Why is this not coming off, friends? What is wrong with this? Maybe like so? I don't know. Okay. This is going to the side. I'm going to talk about this. Maybe we're going through this first. So this is a piece of paper that I stole from Mick at Matt Mercantile, and I want to cut this out and stick it into my ink journal because that is more pen related than it is, memory related. I have no idea why I am suddenly so into FlexSnip pens. And well, one of the things is probably because I have noticed how nice my handwriting looks and how much I enjoy writing with Flex pens. I don't know where that is coming from. The fact that my handwriting looks so nice with those. This is trash, actually. I don't need to keep everything. This is also going to trash. This is going to go into my ink journal. And then this one is also going into my ink journal. What do I want to say? Not everything needs to be saved. Same as this. This I want to keep, but this is going into a completely different journal, so deal with this later. This is an amazing book. I have not used it. And what I'm going to do with this is just keep it with my ink journal for 2026. And when I'm not using it without a cover, I keep it in here. And so what I'm going to do, oh, I haven't put this in there yet. Okay, is just stick it in here and keep it in the back of the notebook. You know? Now, okay, so this is going into my ink journal. Maybe I'm going to just sort it through with you and then stick it in here later. We will see. This also goes in here. So let's rip this off. Last minute. Let's talk about what didn't work. I wanted to have a notebook that I could carry with me, that I wouldn't lose, because that's what happened to me at the San Francisco Pen Show in 2024, is that I lost my notebook for a while. I actually was able to find it again, but if it had been lost, I would have been so sad. So I stuck this in here. I also stuck my long form writing journal, which is a traveler's notebook standard size, into this, because I thought it would be so cool if it was all contained and zippered shut. Now, that is also a huge barrier to entry. Then if I'm at a table and want to try something out, I have to open the thing, I have to unzip it, I have to shuffle around the notebooks that I stuck in here, maybe even some loose papers, open the notebook. And that is just too much. And it also takes up a lot of space. Just before I left, I just sliced apart my Hobonichi Weeks for 2025. And it has Tomoe River paper. I was like, you know what? If I'm doing messing around stuff, maybe I'll throw this in for some spare paper. And boy, this was perfect for me. So I actually left this in my hotel room after the first day because I noticed how I wasn't reaching for it. The other thing that really was a problem for me and that I struggled with, and that I just acknowledged and let it go, was that I was afraid I was going to have ugly pages in this notebook. Yep, it sounds weird, but what can you do? It happens. And it's, instead of not writing something down in here because for some reason I'm not using this, I thought it was better to acknowledge, I don't think I want to have the messy stuff in here. And say, okay, weird, I don't understand you, my friend, self. But then let's use something else instead of not taking down notes. What I did was the pens that I took, which I didn't really need to bring any pens. And then I just carried this around with me everywhere. I stuck it into the outside pocket of my rickshaw, what are they called? Bonsai bags, which was really great to have. It was the right size for me. And I took all the notes that I wanted to take in here. So in next show that I'm going to, I think I'm going to do the exact same thing. Now, I did not fill all of these pages during the show. What I tried to do was make pages like this one when I went to the nib grinding appointments. My original plan was to just swatch these so that I can take the paper, I didn't put anything on the back, and then stick it into my ink journal, because I'm not opposed to having this in my ink journal. And then when I was with JJ Lax, this is what happened. So I then, instead of testing on a different page, I did it on this one. So this didn't turn out as well as I had liked it to turn out. And then this is Damien All in the Nibs tester pens. So these 3 pages I really want to have in my ink journal. Then on my way home, I put down some thoughts. I want to go and through these and audit them, basically. So I'm going to put those to the stack that says "Deal with me later," which is over here. I actually already sold most of the pens. I wasn't sure, and I did not. I was thinking about selling the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande with a titanium medium nib. And the funny thing, so I also did get a new pen after the pen show. I was like, let me think about things that I want to sell. And then which pens do I really want? And I tested Wendy Sue's Pride pen. It's called something else, something prismatic. And I felt it was like meant to be. While I was traveling home, I think I started seeing photos of him sharing the process that he's working on 7 pens in that rainbow with the rainbow finial on Saturday. But while I was traveling home on Sunday, I looked on Instagram and I saw someone asked, how do we get these? And Rob answered, send me a DM. And I was like, so I was waiting for the drop because he said they would go up in his shop. And so I reached out to him right away once I saw this and said, hey, I would love to buy one of those pens. And so I bought a pen on the way home from Philadelphia. Yeah. I said it in my ink swatching video. I am very much I watched Karina's pen and ink goal video. I feel like I already achieved all of my pen and ink goals for 2026. So I'm not sure what there is to come, especially with the fact that I really want to do the ABC with when I test out my new pens now. I saw this on someone's video and then I did it here. So this is, I think these both go in trash. I swatched Franklin Christoph nibs that I hadn't tried before. And I'm thinking of maybe possibly getting another SIG nib, maybe in F, but also that is not something that is very necessary right now. I went to so these are all pens that I tested out. It starts right here. So this goes into my ink journal, I said, which is, where is that? The book is gone. It disappeared. This is my regular journal. Where did I put my ink journal? Did you see it? Did you see where I put it? It's gone. Oh, haha. Just kidding. It's right here. This goes right in here. Maybe what we'll do this time around is I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to show you all the stuff. And if I notice that it's going to take too long, I'm going to stop the video, stick everything down, and then show you what it looks like. Also, I forgot my water. Maybe I can make my child get me one. So, okay, so maybe I do have some goals. So maybe I just need to collect them. I would like to get another SIG Fine. I have just sold this week my SIG Extra Fine. It just did not work for me. Too fine. I really like the Monarch in cursive. I do have the Monarch in fine and the Monarch in medium, so it would be cool if I had a triple. Man, Ian Schoen of Schoen Design had a prototype that looked so funny. I did not take many pictures or videos. I saw that Aziza from Gourmet Pens shared a writing sample of that specific prototype nib on his, what is that pen that he makes? The Evo. And that nib will only be available on the Evo because it's so big, it doesn't fit in any other pens. And then I tried a lot of pens out to see how I liked them. This is a medium sig nib. And so what I did is I wrote down the people's name of the pens that I was able to try and what nib size it was. This one is some of the tuning and some of the new pens that I got. So this one can go. I don't think I need this one specifically. Then I made sure that I realized along the way I got 8 nib work done on 8 pens. And so I started to confuse what nib grind I got on what pen. So I needed to write it down so I would remember. And here I already made mistakes. And then one of the big things that happened, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this, so this is trash. One of the big things that happened was that I was able to test all of Wendy Sue's Flex Nib pens. The main reason I wanted to go to the Philly Pen Show specifically was because I wanted to possibly obtain a Stylus Suite Flex pen nib. I think he only sells the whole combination, so it would need to be a pen. But what I was after was a Flex nib. Now, I think for health reasons, Les wasn't able to attend this year, but that I learned about that after I had purchased the tickets. Was I very salty about that? Yes. I actually even thought about canceling the whole trip. I'm so glad I didn't, but that's how fixated I was on the Flex pens, Flex nibs from him. Okay. We thought about maybe asking Les if he would be willing to make a nib for me even without me sitting with him. And that might be an option still for me, but also maybe it's not. Maybe it's good that I didn't get to sit with him because I spent a ton of money, unfortunately. Which is the pen and ink goals. I was able to obtain 2 pens that I thought I would never ever be able to get for an amazing price. Still expensive, but still amazing. And so basically my whole pen show budget and the money for all the presents, past and future, are like all gone now. So I'm not really able to make a lot of leaps, and that is one of the reasons why I made sure to sell the pens right away, because I bought another pen after I purchased the obtainiums. Yeah, I don't make sense. So maybe I need to go back to the Philadelphia Pen Show in 2027 and then get a Flex Nib pen, right? So I was able to write with these and I had such a lot of fun. Man, these pens are amazing. Yeah. So I definitely want to keep those. Right here, this is the Cactus Flex Nib. This is basically not, I think I can't really would not be able to use this one. And the ones that I really liked were definitely, I really liked the Regalia Flex Nib. I don't know how you can purchase those. A lot of these nibs here on this paper, on this writing sample, are nibs that you can't purchase anymore. I know that Kirk Spear does not do any more flex modifications on pens. I know that Gina from Gina Custom Nib Studio doesn't currently do Spencerian modifications or flex modifications on pens. So for me, probably the only obtainable modern flex pens would be either the Regalia Flex Nib or the Stylus Suite ones. And I really, really liked the Flex Italic X-Wing Harpoon. This one is somebody else's. I don't remember their name. This is basically the same nib. But the others are also really nice. The extra fine is a little too fine, in my opinion, for me. But man, ugh. So if you have a Stylus Suite nib and you don't get along with it, reach out to me because I would be so interested in obtaining that. I was also able to try an FA nib from Pilot in the bigger nib size. I have the FA nib on a 912 myself, and I'm glad I went with a smaller nib because this one is harder to use. What else? The Magna Carta is nice. It's not one that I would like to get. I'm glad I didn't buy one in San Francisco at the pen show in 2024 because I was actually thinking about it, but I wasn't into flex nibs as much as I am right now, or interested in them as much as I am right now. So this is stuff that I really wanna keep and stick into my ink journal. Where's the first page? Is this? Oh no, I think these are only 2 pages, right? Yeah. Ink journal goes in here. This was when I was still thinking about, do I want to keep it? Is this something that I want to let go? I ultimately decided to let it go. I was able to try a Mont Blanc oblique medium nib. It was an interesting writing experience, not something that I want to do. And then I tried my friend's Monarch cursive nib, which, yeah, some pens from people that I met there. And then I met this guy, or actually Wendy Sue introduced me to him. You might know him. He's a doctor. He's called Jay. I don't know his last name. I called him Dr. J then, who has an amazing fountain pen collection. And he was extremely willing to talk about it. Obviously, I mean, even if I have pens that are a fraction of the price of the pens that he owns, I also love to talk about the pens that I have. I love when other people try my pens and are as excited about them as I am. So it was so much fun to sit with him. He would hand me a pen and talk about what nib size it was. And these 3 pages right here are his pens. I learned that he mixes a document ink from 2 Mont Blanc inks. So all of his pens are inked in the same color, which is a blue-black, this one. And he grinds his nibs himself. And yeah, I know, you're reading correctly. He ground this Namiki Emperor in broad into a cursive italic. Yep. Man. Wow. And that Namiki Emperor is just a pen that kind of looks like a dildo. Just saying. It's big. It's rounded. Wow. I was impressed. And I did not know that the Namiki Emperor is actually a Japanese eyedropper pen. But now I know. And I just can't get over it. I don't think that
this would, besides the fact, Google the price. Besides the fact that I don't think I would want to spend that much money about it, but I also don't think that this would be a pen that I would want to use regularly. Like if I wanted to have it in my collection as a collector's item, yes, possibly. I'm not that type of collector, but if I were, that would be something that I would want. But to write with it, I'm not sure. Because it's like, I mean, it's bigger than a marker. Then he also handed me a Pilot Custom Urushi, an amazing vintage Omas. He didn't do anything to that nib because he loves the nib so much. This is, well, obviously you can't see the pen, but it was a huge pen. Again, Santini Italia, 21K Giant. Oh, I also have another pen that I want to put on my someday maybe list. So, wow, that one was amazing. And he also seemed to be very familiar with the Italian pen makers, like on a first name to first name basis, basically. And then he showed me some other things that are just so amazing. Like I have heard of William Shakur before, but I didn't know what he does. Again, I think that these people that he shared with me are just so niche that as a regular person, I just don't know about them. So let me do this. This is wrong. This is an S. This William Shakur titanium double broad nib was a pen that was completely printed, 3D printed, but it didn't like look at all 3D printed. Like the way that you imagine a 3D print looking like, none of that. And then he had a Waterman Edson with a body that was made out of wood by Ryan Krusak. Man, I would have loved to just take that pen and run with it. Not necessarily because I really love the nib, but the way the body felt, the wood, oh man. Actually, it felt very similar to, where did I put all of the stuff? Down here somewhere. To the way that matte finish acrylics feel. That is exactly, yeah. Now maybe the wood is warmer when you hold it for a longer time, because that's what wood does. But that is exactly how that pen felt in my hand. Now that I think of it. Then he showed me some Pelicans and the way that those write. This is a medium cursive italic, a Lamy double broad cursive italic. And the way these nibs feel so different, but yet are all so fantastic, man. A pen that he gave me or showed me that is one of those someday maybe pens. I think if I have the opportunity to obtain a Pelikan M1000 in a fine nib, that is something that I would really enjoy having in my collection to write with. But this Pelikan that he gave me and let me try was not necessarily special because of the nib. It was special because another person from Britain, John Twist, not John Twist, John Twist. Obviously, like if you're into these older-ish pens, you know this dude. Like Sarah from Fountain Pen Insanity, I think it's her YouTube channel. You should look at her videos and check out her collection. She knows about this dude. So I was like, oh yeah, obviously you would. Totally makes sense to me. So what he did, this John Twist, is take a regular black Pelikan M1000, shave it down and thin it out, and then cover it with also this is not right, Omas Arco Bronze. And the reason why I put Omas Arco Iris is just because I work in yarn, and there is a color that is called Arco Iris. And I guess I was not there fully with my brain when I wrote this down. And then he also let me try a Visconti skeleton palladium knit. So this, I think, is not something that I want to stick into my ink journal, but I think I want to keep these pages and put them just like the nibbage into the back of my journal, so that I can have it and reference it later, because I'm not sure I will ever meet this guy again, but having the opportunity to write with these pens, it's just, I want to keep this. And then I met people at the tables, which is one of the things that I also said in my other Philly Pen Show video. If you have the opportunity to go to a pen show, go. But don't just peruse the show floor. Make sure that you, even if you're an introvert, the easiest thing that how you can get into contact with people is just go outside the show floor, see if there's tables, sit down at a table where there's already people. And don't sit down far away from them, sit down relatively close, so that maybe they can get into, like, you can get talking, and sit down, try your pens, then take a deep breath and say, hey, what did you get at the show? Or something like that. I know it's hard. I am overthinking most of this so many times. The amount of times that I'm trying to talk to people and just like repeat sentences in my head and then not say them, I'm trying to, instead of do that, just say them. And the Philly Pen Show was small enough for me to be able to do that more. It was also really great that I had Wendy Sue, Fountain Pen News, with me, who is like the total opposite of me. She talks to every single person. It doesn't really matter who they are. She just like talks to them and doesn't care. And I just want to, I don't need to be Wendy Sue because she's already taken, but you know what I mean? That personality is already there. I want to still be me, the Simone that I know, that I love, that I trust, but I want to be a little bit more like Wendy Sue, be a little more like Wendy Sue. And just because the show was so small, it was super easy to get to talk to people and to overcome that hurdle more easily than if it was super packed. Yeah, so that's what all of this is. And also, I mean, I said this in another video before, I don't walk around flashing a sign over my head saying, hey, I'm Simone, the YouTuber, you need to know me. That's just not who I am. I don't flash it out to people at all. Maybe I should do it a little more, but it was super funny because I sit there, I talk to people, and then sometimes people recognize my voice and they're like, hey, do I know you? Are you Simone? I'm like, yeah, that's me. Or someone is like, oh, you're that person? Hey, I want to hang out with you. So like, that's an icebreaker that I could use a little more. But I was able to ice break quite a bit. Man, I met, again, we sat there and we actually convinced Saswati, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, I think I did, to come back to the show the next day because she hadn't bought a pen on Saturday. But then we got to talking, and then we talked about, and she tried so many of our pens that she was like, yeah, maybe I do need to come back the next day to buy some of the things that I tried with you. She was able to purchase 4 Mont Blancs, I think a ballpoint, a pencil, and these 2 fountain pens for a steal through Facebook Marketplace. And she had us try those. This nib was really mangled, and Gina from Custom Nib Studio was able to fix it for her. And man, just, that is one of those experiences. I think I did not have this experience, obviously, but the fact that she was able to share this with all of us, I think made it so much better for her that she was able to find these for such a great deal. And then we tried them, and they were so amazing. Like, these pens are so amazing. We all tried them, our eyes lit up. And that was just such a great community experience. That's exactly what I'm missing when I'm here alone in my studio and I'm talking to you guys, and it like replicates 1% of that experience. But I one of the reasons I went to Philly was to have exactly that, and I think I filled my cup so much. So that if my daughter still lives close to Philly, I I'm really, really tempted to come back just to sit outside of the show floor and talk to people. This pen was the most surprising pen that I tried. Well, besides the ones that I already showed you, obviously, but it's a tiny pen. It's called the Mont Blanc Classique. It's a really small pen, and the nib is small, but it felt so good that I should put this on my list of pens to obtain. My friends Michelle and Wendy Sue actually bought one at the show. They were able to find them there. So I did not go specifically looking for it because I had already spent the chunk on Friday. So I was really trying to lay low for the rest of the show. But if I had stumbled across one while I was looking, I might have purchased one of those. It feels so good. It's a thin pen, and I normally don't like thin pens. But for some reason, I really like that one. Which is also 2 things that I realized while I was at the show. I was super drawn. No, actually, 3 things. I was drawn to the narrower pens, which is very weird. I liked the slicier cursive nibs. What? And I also enjoyed metal sections. Like, who am I even? Maybe it was because I was just holding them for a short amount of time. I don't know. But yeah. So I tried a lot of pens from people that I met. We sat together. This is amazing. Yeah, a needlepoint. Then this was a pen that someone was trying to get maybe to sell because she just wasn't really happy with this. And I have to say that I probably also would not want this one. Yeah, then I scribe nibs. There was this Gravitas Ultim pocket pen that someone handed me. Husband of Lydia. It was this one, the Enzo Piuma Pocket. And again, if you know me, if you've been with me for a while, the thing that has come out more and more throughout me using fountain pens is that I really hate, like I can say that with conviction. I hate screw to post pocket pens. There's nothing worse than having to screw a cap onto a pen to make it usable. This one was so easy to screw on to post that I would probably, if I could get my hands on this pen, I would probably make an exception for this screw to post, because it was like so easy to handle. And it looked so cute. This one I would make an exception for. Another Mont Blanc for 149 medium. I was able to try another custom urushi. Yeah, I'm leaning out of the window right now, but I don't think that those custom urushi pens, besides the fact that they probably are now as unobtainable as many other pens that were previously like just slightly out of reach, are like now so far out of reach. I don't think that these custom urishis are where I would want to go with my pen collection, or where I want to spend money on. Then I tried Wendy Sue's Monarch Cursive and Shelby's Monarch Cursive because they're so different. And then I was able to try a Conklin 1898 with a 14 karat gold nib. I am having a collaboration with Jaffa Brands, who own Conklin, Monteverde, and Private Reserve. And I'm getting a pen that, which one is it? The All American, which is the same model as shape as the Conklin 1898. And I just wanted to write with this one because that was one that I looked at, but unfortunately collaborations don't get gold nibs, which is totally understandable, but I just wanted to see how it felt. Yeah, so I was really happy that Shelby had that pen with him. Then I tried a Schaefer that Wendy Sue pulled out of a random scrap box from someone. What is Crazy Allen's Emporium. And then I did not talk about this actually, which is something that I was able to experience after. So Alexandra from Alexandra's Art Insanity has a really lovely mom who purchased a vintage pen from Mick at Mad Mercantile, and she said the Friday night she told us about the experience that she had sitting with him and trying all those pens. He would hand her pens, let her try them, they would ink them up together, he would explain about the pens. And yeah, after she told us about this, I was like, I think I'm gonna go there tomorrow, which I did. But then I was really hesitant to actually buy the pen that I fell in love with. And I did not. He was like, Saturday night, he was like, you should come and see me tomorrow. Maybe we can talk about the price. And I did not go back because I just couldn't justify spending more money. And it would have been probably another $200 pen. And I just couldn't. And then I went home and spent another $200 on another pen. Yeah. But at the show, I wasn't really up to doing that. And that is not because I didn't want to buy the pen, and it's not because I didn't like the pen or I didn't want to give him money. It was just because it was so surprising to me that I loved and enjoyed all of those vintage pens. And I just wasn't sure that this pen would be used as much as I would want, because it was actually a pen that was like this size, super small. Yeah, I think maybe a tiny bit bigger than a One Size Mini. It was totally narrow. It was brass. It was fabulous. It had like these edgings. Now that the more that I talk about it, I'm like, do I want to reach out to this guy and say, please don't sell it? So I tried a ton of these pens and they were so amazing. But this Swan that had a lot of wabi-sabi. That looked like it was used. It had a tiny nib, maybe this big. It wrote so amazingly. But it was like the narrowest pen I had ever seen. And so I just wasn't sure if I would be able to use that regularly and enjoy it for a long time, because it just felt like a pen that would want to stay with me. The more I talk about it, I'm like, maybe I should buy it. Because I just can't stop thinking about it, But that's also something that is good to learn about myself. Maybe I need to trust my gut more, because I'm extremely happy about the 2 new pens that I bought. Like, all the pens that I bought, I feel really good about. All the pens that I sold, I feel really good about. Maybe I am at the place where I know exactly what I like and where I know exactly what I don't like, or what is done with me in my collection. I don't know. Yeah, that was an amazing experience. Super, super, super lovely guy. He knows so much about pens, about old pens. I also met Nick Pang from Entropy Inc., I think. Also, the knowledge that these vintage fountain pen dudes have is just fascinating to me. I just, if they let me hang out with them and I just listen to what they talk about, if they like all the knowledge that they can like let go and that I can learn and hear about, I'm totally game. And if I was able to get into a career there, so if you're a fountain pen person who needs someone, talk to me. I'm so eager to change my career. I would totally that is stuff that I would love to learn about, that I would love to, educate people on and pass on knowledge, because there's nothing worse than this knowledge maybe getting lost because we didn't pass it on to people who can then, take over that space. All right. So then on Sunday, what I also did is I went and got stamps from everywhere. No, I don't remember. Do we know who this stamp is from? I don't know. If you know who this is from, I'm just going to stick it into my journal. But if you know who this is from, I would be happy to write it down. This is Stationery Universe. I was able to get that Liberty Bell foiling from Buck's Bespokery. I really want to put that down as well. So there's a lot of that stuff that is in here. And I can already see that we are not going to do this together. This is something that I'm going to do later. So here is something that I bought. And I wish it was a little chunkier, because then it would fit into my mini plotter mini 5. So there, the enabling points go to, drumroll, Pen Addict. They talked about this Drehgriffe. By the way, this is how you pronounce it. Leuchtturm Drehgriffel. It's not Griffel, it's Drehgriffel. If I was talking in fast, it would be Leuchtturm Drehgriffel. But if you want to be correct, you can say Leuchtturm Drehgriffel. So, do we have paper here? I cannot get over the way this pen feels in my hand. Like, obviously this is a pencil. I did not get the ballpoint. I did not get the roller ball. I am going to replace my Let's see if it's in here. Which I love. It has bite marks from Max all over here. What is this again? This is a Zebra Delgard 0.5. This is a 0.7. Man, this feels so good. So if you want to spend a little bit of money, not a lot, I think this goes for about $35. Or if you have the opportunity to try one of those, try it. I was so extremely surprised when I saw this at, where did I buy it? Here. Happy Hour Pens and Gifts. Adam. He had lovely tables there. He had some amazing pens. So if you haven't heard of him, maybe give him some love. And I went for the orange. I couldn't decide between all of those. And then I was like, you know what? You lose everything. Why not get the really orange one so it's easy to find? I wish it was a little bit bigger so that no pens ever fit in here. And then the one pen that I would want to fit does not. I think I would completely switch to pencil if this was fit. If this would fit in here. It also is just the right amount of bigger than what I can like accept sticking out. It just doesn't fit. So yeah. I heard Brad and Mike from the Pen Addict talk about this and how surprised they were, how this feels, and that this is such a weird choice for a favorite pencil. I get it now. If you don't have one, you need one. And then look at all of this. I haven't even talked about this stuff. So this is all the stuff that I was gifted. Oh, we also need to open this. So more ephemera that I want to stick in here. So Wendy Sue brought a lot of stuff. This is a bathroom person, and I don't remember what they're called. Does it say anywhere? No. Huh. It's a blind box, and I said, "Give it to me. I'll open it on my thing, on my YouTube video." So let's check it out. It needs to sit somewhere. I'm gonna put it onto this right here. Oh, it's falling backwards. What is this doing in the bath? Like, where would it go? It sits right here. I'm gonna put a video clip on top. I'm gonna set it on my shelf here, so you can see it over there. I'm gonna put it up there later. This is a glow-in-the-dark bathroom person. I would have loved. Is he sitting on the bathroom? Maybe. It looks like this. What others would have been cool? I don't know. Toilet. Okay, cool. I think I'm just gonna keep this and stick that in here. This goes trash. So I actually did not take an Uber because I come from a country where we take public transport a lot. And so I'm not scared to take public transport. So I decided to do it. And it worked really well. So if you're in Philly, there is a train from the airport into the city. Did I show you the pretzel pen chain? There is this card from Rickshaw, and then there's more stickers. Maybe I'll put this one down. This is Saswati, and she makes, look at these. These are amazing. So I want to stick one down. Maybe I'll put one on my journal. Then my friend Michelle brought some syringes. I'm going to put those away somewhere. Then Wendy Sue gave me congrats. Congrats, I hate you. And she also gave me this Weird Girls Club pouch. I can't get into this though. Let's quickly look through the rest of the stickers and then oh. I need to go through this because it's super full, but it's down here now. Fell out. Then I bought coffee right here. Oh, I need to talk about this in my making diaries video. But one of the things that I really wanted to do when I was in Philadelphia was go outside. I knew it. It probably wouldn't have happened if I hadn't talked about it. I needed to go outside, get some fresh air. And usually on weekends, I go for a walk in the morning before breakfast with Max. And that's exactly what I did. I actually went out and just got some breakfast on the way when I walked. But I spent about an hour outside of the show hotel. And it was so good that I went, you know, why is the sticker so hard to get off here? I'm going to just not stick it down then. Radicalized by basic decency? Yeah, that's exactly how it goes, friends. This is Safety Michelle. And then I got stickers from Cozy Traveler. I was able to meet her and the whole crew there. This is more Cozy Traveler. If you don't follow Cozy Travelers on YouTube, you should. And then I was able to get this. I love this photo. This is so cool. This was part of the workshop that I did with Aziza. It's for ink, water that you can put next to you on the table. You know, if you want to make inky messes. And then Susan. Now, if I'm completely messing this up, please let me know in the comments down below. But I met a viewer, like I met several of you all, and it was so amazing to meet you all and talk to you and hang out. But she gave me these two samples. One is the Star Child, which I already have a bottle of. I also have a bottle of the Star Spattered Hill, but it's almost empty. And so I just love the thoughtfulness of this gift because I said I was really sad that I was going to run out. And so she brought me more so I would have a backup, you know, when it's empty. That's just so lovely. So, I think that's all. I think I'm talked out now. I feel like everything that I was holding this whole week that I wanted to share with you all, I think I've shared it. Oh no, I did not. Cannoli. Friends. Natasha from Inky is the loveliest person. And she sells leather pastries. And she is, wow. I took a photo. Everything I took photos of, which is basically nothing. I will put a photo up here. But she plays the role like 100%. She is committed. They are pastries. They are in a pastry case. She takes pastry tongues. She puts them in pastry bags. It's a whole thing. And even just if you decide you don't need one of these, just wait around her table until someone else buys it, because it's a whole experience, and it is so lovely to witness that when you're done watching her sell one of these, you need one for yourself, because it's so amazing. That is one of the things that I meant to share. And what else is here? Oh yes, these are hilarious. I had to buy both of these sticker sheets. So lovely. I think I need to put one of them down here. So yes, I think that is all I wanted to share with you. I will be back with my finished journals later on. All right, so I wanted to show you what I did. I put the River City Penco company card right here, because is info that I want to keep. I did not put any new pen day things in here yet. Maybe I will at some point, but this is where I can access that information. I bought the pen in January. That's my January tracker. Perfect. And then I actually took the Nibbage, the notebook, the newspaper magazine that you get as a weekend pass holder with your entry. I took it apart and I took the title card and title page and put it right here. This is an art piece that my friend Claudia from the Claudia Desk made right before where I started to write down the stuff that I wanted to bring and the workshops that I was going to take, the nib work that I was going to have done, stuff I wanted to look out for. Then I did my haul here. And then I did my ink swatches. There's a video for this. There's a video for that on my channel. I will link them in the cards above. And then I took the rest of the pages that I wanted to stick in here and just all the writing samples from this one here. I did a really bad mistake, man. I was like, no, it's the right way. It's not upside down. I even thought about, hopefully I'm not going to glue this upside down. Well, this is how that went. I mean, doesn't change the fact that I still have a writing sample, so I just will turn the book around. Then I stuck this right here because I felt like this belonged to the flex stuff. And then I did the writing samples for the Nibmeisters. So here's JJ Lax's. It was narrow enough so I could fit it right there. And then there's a little bit of glue somewhere that makes it hard to open up the pages. And then I glued the writing samples for Damien from All in the Nib and Gina from Custom Nib Studio right here. And this is how much space I took up. I'm totally fine. Whenever this is full, I'd rather fill this up and use spare paper in the back than have half of this notebook unfilled. So I'm good with as many pages as I'm using. This is the ink journal where I did the inky stuff. And then here is what I did for the weekly spread. I stuck down all the stickers, all the stamps that I got. This one is the prototype pen from Schoen Design, a writing sample of this. There was some weird white space and I was like, I would really love to keep this. So I stuck it here. And what I'm going to do is just write a teeny tiny snippet about how much fun I had while I was in Philly. Yeah, I like how this turned out. This is exactly what I wanted. Perfect. I am so glad you hung out with me today. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I always appreciate you commenting under my videos. I read every single one of the comments. I am having a hard time responding because there's so many things that I want to do every day, and some things just have to fall by the wayside. and the comments are unfortunately one of those things. So know that I appreciate every comment that you leave. Know that I read every single comment that I read, and they warm my heart. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you again next time. Until then, bye.